In this video, we will see one of the Cloudformation templates that creates a AWS Lambda and an API gateway and an authorizer. So we will hit the endpoint of the API gateway to invoke the Lambda function. But in between, there will be an authorizer which will check the authorization header, and if it is allow, only then it will let the request go to the Lambda. Otherwise, it will reject it right away. And the authorizer will also be another Lambda. So we will do it using Cloudformation template, and this is in my Git repo. So if I go to AWS CloudFormation, I'll be sharing this link in the description also. And Lambda API Gateway Authorizer. This is the one Lambda API Gateway Authorizer .yml. In this one, you can see initially we have a role for the authorizer that has logging access in CloudWatch logs, and then Lambda invoke function role. And this is our function, my lambda role. So for invoking that function, it is there. This is the lambda function, and it's a basic Python runtime one, and just having hello world return value. And notice this way, using this events attribute, we have linked the API gateway by this one. REST API ID is ref my API. This my API is our API gateway. It is also having just some basic properties like name, stage name, the production, you can change anything else. Then in the auth section of the API gateway, we have our authorizer. So default authorizer is API gateway authorizer, which is defined here, and which is our authorizer for API gateway defined in this template only. Then resource policy, we have custom statement, this one, and this is lambda function role for the authorizer, what we saw above. If we go below, this is our log group for the API gateway. You can find the logs inside this log group in CloudWatch. Once it is deployed, this is referring to the API gateway. So this is API gateway's log group. And if you go below, this is our authorizer lambda function. So in this, I have also put the code in line only. This is a Node.js runtime, and you can see this handler function is checking for three types of token: allow, deny, or unauthorized. If it is allow, it is creating an allow policy. If it is deny, it is creating a deny policy. If it is unauthorized, it is sending an error unauthorized. So this first argument you see in the callback null, this takes an error. In these two cases, there was no error. Deny is simply sending a deny policy. Allow is sending an allow policy. Allow policy further goes to our actual lambda, so it will return hello world. Unauthorized one will give an error because the first argument we are passing is unauthorized. Similarly, for default, any other cases, we are passing the first argument with a string. This is error invalid token. And these function, if you see, generate policy is defined here, which is creating the policy statement. Okay, so let me create this one. So this is my AWS CloudFormation service, and I'll create this tag and upload file template, choose file. I have it in my local, so I'll pick this. We can see the actual design in the application composer. Let me open it in a new tab. See, there is an API gateway. Then, sorry, this is the log group for CloudWatch, logging of the API gateway. Then we have the API gateway. It has a post mapping, which hits the my lambda function, but there is also an authorizer for API gateway that we have declared here. Okay, so we can either use this create template button here, or since I have it in a new tab, so I can proceed directly from here also. Next, name it stack 1. Next, we don't have any deletion policy that retains the element, but still it will be good practice to delete all traded resources regardless of their attached deletion policy. So I generally check this, but in case if you don't have any deletion policy in your template, you can even use this one. That is okay. Next, We have to do these three check boxes. Submit. So it will take some time. We will see the events. I'll pause the video for some time and resume once it is done. Okay, so there were total 33 events, and in the three events, our stack is complete. It created the log group, API, product stage. This was the deployment of the API gateway. Then API gateway log group we already saw. API gateway, authorizer for the API, a lambda function role, a lambda function that returns the hello world. So let me go to API gateway now to see what we have deployed. So this is the only API gateway, and this was created by our template. Let me open this. In stage, you can find the invoke URL. So if I go to stage, and we have I think two environment. I saw I showed you the prod, but there is a stage also. So we can use this also. So this is the invoke endpoint. Let me copy this. Let me go to Postman. I'll paste this. I'll remove this was an older one. This is our new one. And notice I am passing authorizer value allow. Sorry, authorization header value allow. So if I hit this, I'll get the hello world response that is coming from the actual lambda that we are hitting behind API gateway. Now, if I do a deny, user is not authorized to access this resource with explicit deny. If I do a unauthorized, it returns message unauthorized. And if I do something else, it just return null. Okay, so back to allow hello world. And let me show you two more things. So in the authorizer section, we can do a test from here also. So if we click on this, here we can test our token. So if I do an allow test authorizer, it returns the policy that it is creating. Same way we can do for deny. It is generating this policy. And if we do anything else, test authorizer, notice there is a 500 error. Okay, same thing we can go to our lambda logs also. So in the authorizer logs, I think we can see. So this is our authorizer for API gateway that we deployed. We can go to monitor and CloudWatch logs. Here I have the 749 ones which were tested just now. So let me open this. Okay. So see, this was our invalid token scenario. This returned invalid when we tried something else. Then let's see a few more. Again, this is invalid token one. This is allow policy that was generated. So we tested this. I think this is from the authorizer test that we did directly from the console. So same way you can test the other one also. So that's it for this video. I'll delete this.